amazing
Hey guys.
guy over there. The hyper soft spoken. All right, but no, I want to jump right in to Life with Kevin. Like I mentioned, this is from Archie Comics. This is the most recent, most recently released in individual issues, but you can also check out Life with Kevin Volume 1, which is available now. Get it on Comixology digital version or your local comic shop. And it's the story of Kevin Keller, who's left Riverdale. He's taken Veronica with him. Veronica Lodge.
I'm out. She's coming with.
Hey man, you know, you got to have your people.
One person to grab, right?
You need an entourage. Well, he's the
leaving.
He's the gay friend, so it's not like Archie taking his bottom bitch. That's very inappropriate. I'm sorry. Archie's taking his main squeeze. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. To the new city. But no, he's bringing her on for mutual support because she needs her to have his back. He needs her to have her back. I think that's correct. I'm tongue-tied. It's been a bad day. But what it comes down to is it's been a bad day, but I also got to read a good book. Life with Kevin has a lot of the same fare I'd expect from a 90s sitcom. I even mentioned that in the blurb for this
it's like
episode.
Mad About You style?
Definitely Mad About You, but I was considering the fare more along the lines of like Caroline in the City. You know,
Ooh, that's a deep breath.
Yeah. Or what was Ellen's sitcom before she started doing her daytime talk show? Because
Was it Ellen?
I don't know.
What was it called?
I don't know. There was one with Fred Savage. Either way, it involved journalism. You know, and that was like where the world went. And here, my old folky ass. The first place I went was the short-lived, and by short-lived I mean a single episode finale slash spin-off pilot of Clarissa Explains It All, where she went to New York and started her first day as a journalist at some magazine.
Really?
Yep. Well, Kevin's gone to New York, and his very first disastrous first day. In leading into the career, but the first issue is all about his disastrous first day in New York, working at his low-level, floor job.
It seemed like an apt way to start when you move to New York.
Well, you go thinking you're gonna be a legit
never
journalist.
As you know. I'm
gonna cover these stories of political intrigue and social upheaval. And then it's like, okay, so here's how Kim K's butt has expanded this month.
Well, first of all, if you're thinking you're just going to move to New York and just get the great job right out the gate is a fairy tale in itself.
I know people that happened to.
Or have an apartment that's not a closet.
I hate them with a passion.
Right.
Because it's just like, I've struggled in
They're
my
unicorns.
life.
Those things don't exist, really.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to anyway.
And believe it or not, I have stumbled ass backwards into some great positions, surprisingly. Downward dog, doggy styles.
Upward facing
something.
The
Eiffel Tower. It's great position.
You have stumbled into it.
I've stumbled backwards into them. No, I don't want to take away from the integrity of the story because it's just a fun read. A lot of the action is really fast, but then again, like I mentioned, that I made that equation to 90s sitcoms. It takes place and it's reminiscent of a lot of those because everything moved really fast. People talked really fast, and they got to different places, and you get a lot of story content in a short amount of time. Normally, I would be very against that because if it's a more serious story, that really just robs the content of any kind of weight.
You want it to play out in kind of a more natural,
more realistic at least. Even though we're talking about comics, and even in a comedy, that may not give time to build up to jokes. But the way this plays out, it's an Archie comic. It's meant to be a quick read. It's meant to be a fun read, and horrible stuff happens to him, but also funny stuff happens to him. And there's a good balance I found as I read over time. Like I read the first issue and I wasn't really into it. I'm like, I'm not. What's going on? Like, let me flesh this out and stuff. But as it went on, and by I think issue 4, I was really digging it. I'm like, oh, I see what they're getting at.
Right.
And this is really meshing with me. Even though I'm not the target audience, I really had a great time reading this.
Nice.
And I'm surprised. I think I'm too old.
I always like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, am I really the appropriate person to be reading or watching this? And then it's your favorite thing you're watching every night, falling asleep to it on Netflix.
Yeah, and you know what the good thing about it was? I'm giving this thumbs up first of all. This was just a fun read, and I kind of needed it on a bad day.
Yeah. Well, that's it's important as well. When you're kind of bummed out and you stumble upon something, especially if you think it's not gonna be affecting for you.
Yeah, man. I got up, I stubbed a toe, I walked outside to get the paper, the door shut behind me, and then as I'm walking,
locked out. Then somebody calls the cops. You're trying to break into your own apartment.
No. I know enough about that. Black man in America, we can't have that. No, so I'm walking to my neighbor's place to see if I can get the spare that they're holding, and it starts raining on me. It was fun.
One cloud just on you.
One cloud just following me there. As some guy with a trombone just happened to walk by. I don't know where he came from. There's no band. Anyways, But no, Life with Kevin is a fun read. It's a good story. It's from Archie Comics. It's out right now. It's available. I recommend it. It's just
Archie's got this weird resurgence over the years too. Obviously, you got the show Riverdale, but like, really a big
there's a new cartoon
pushback
Riverdale's
with
popular,
Archie. You know what I mean?
action.
It's interesting.
Well, they're doing interesting things. Archie's one of those series that they'll never let die, and I usually hate those.
Right, but it was like kind of dead
I
just in public eye. You know what I mean? People like, I think most people would be like, unless you're like really in the know, but most people would be like, oh, they still make those?
Well, that's because.
And then they decided to kind of like, hey, let's breathe some new life in.
You know what it is? They're like the cigarette companies, man. They got to get them hooked early.
They do.
You know, when they find kids when they're really young and they give them that first free Archie comic. I think they still come around to schools. And you know that little box you used to get of there'd be like a free deodorant thing. There'd be a free box of
sticks like
Sucreps.
this big. You know, they got 3 inches.
Yeah, just they give them out to 5th graders. Just hey, this is a thing, and never mind that these are all brand products that we're trying to hook you in with. You know, that's why Coca-Cola is sponsoring free
It's
gifts.
reading, you know what I mean? I think people
10-year-olds.
overlook it, you know what I mean? As long as they're, doing something constructive.
True, because I was reading stuff like
unhealthy.
Bunicula and stuff when I was age appropriate for this stuff. But this is a bit more mature Kevin Keller. This is for slightly older audiences. Not too old, but a little older than your average, will Archie, won't Archie, put a finger in Betty or Veronica type audiences.
Teenager stuff.
And what it really, and this really presents it in a more lighthearted, but I don't know, damn amusing light. And I really harkened back to the sitcom thing because it felt like reading an issue of a transcript of Will and Grace.
That's what I was just gonna say. It sounds like a between teenage Will and Grace. Yeah.
Yeah. I got that.
You're down with that show too.
It's a good show.
Are you
hating on Will and Grace?
I am not. I did not say a damn thing about Will and Grace. I have not watched any of that. Maybe that's why.
You know they brought it back, right?
I do.
So you've got even more content to catch up on.
I got seasons.
Yeah, come on, man. Woody Harrelson was on an episode.
Was he?
He was on a few, actually. Yeah.
I like
Woody Harrelson was on a few. I was going to say Tova Borgnine. That's not who I'm talking about. Patty Lupone.
It's like Topher Borgnine. It's like Topher Grace and Ernest Borgnine. That's a good mashup.
No, Tova Borgnine. You know Ernest Borgnine's daughter there.
If I saw her, by name. No.
All right. There's Candace Bergen. Candace Bergen
Okay,
had a long run there. Also, your boy. Why can't I never remember the man's name? Ron
Swanson?
Yeah.
The guy who played Ron Swanson.
Yeah,
Nick Offerman.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're married.
They are. That's why he was
Mullally
there.
and-
Long before that mustache, Nick Offerman did a couple of roles on Will and Grace. Not only that, they brought him back for the latest season.
Yeah, he's the Parks and Rec guy. I think most people know him as. But
Well,
it's
now
like,
he is,
if you go to Sundance, you're gonna see like 15 movies where he plays someone's father.
Yeah, he was
He's got a father
McDonald, right? He was one of the McDonald brothers in the movie with
Adam Sandler.
what's his name? It came out like Michael Keaton. He was the main character and had that guy
Michael Keaton
Ron
had
Burgundy or whatever.
Wake Up Ron
Not
Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy. Whatever, the mustache man.
You are the worst clue giver.
He was playing as one of the McDonald's brothers.
And I could use that as a jumping off
Oh,
point.
you're talking about the founder.
The founder, that's it. Yeah,
Okay, that's all you had to say.
The starting of McDonald's. Yes,
Yeah, that
yes,
is the-
he was in that movie.
Had
But
you said that, we could have gotten there. He was Michael Keaton was in there with the guy with the mustache.
And McDonald's, that should be all you need.
you said the
That's
McDonald brothers, not McDonald's. That's where I think we got thrown. But yes, he is actually becoming quite the accomplished character actor. But he's always playing. I think
Michael
it was
Keaton?
not
Yeah.
Michael. I'm talking about Nick
Michael
Offerman.
Keaton's a great
Yeah.
character actor.
Mr.
You see
Mustache.
Birdman?
We're talking about Nick Offerman. He's
Okay,
becoming
Nick Offerman, the
accomplished.
manliest man in America.
He was I saw the movie The
Taking
Hero.
up the
I
medal
reviewed.
from Tom Selleck. When you think mustaches now, I no longer think Tom Selleck.
What's
I
your
think
top
Nick
5
Offerman.
mustaches of all time?
Top 5 mustaches.
Top 5.
Raul Julia. The Gomez mustache, that thin.
Yeah, but like he's not known just for the stash.
Oh, people that are known just for the stash?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Adolf Hitler. Got to be right there.
I'm talking about movies and actors and things like
Freddie
that.
Mercury, number
Charlie
one.
Chaplin, the exact same mustache. Freddie Mercury's a good one, but he's not an actor. He's
Doesn't matter.
a musician. Okay, his
Well,
mustache.
it does
in
when we're making a
general,
list
Freddie
of just
Mercury.
actors.
Okay, well, I got a Charlie Chaplin just because I'm old.
Okay.
Oh,
And
that's
that's
a
that.
good one.
I can never do the thing where anyone's watching us on Twitch, you can see me embarrassing myself by shifting my lip.
All right. Tom
Ineffectively.
Selleck, obviously.
Tom Selleck,
Burt Reynolds.
for the
Oh,
mustache.
definitely
though?
Burt Reynolds, yeah.
Burt
Not for
Reynolds.
the mustache.
Yeah.
Not for the mustache. Have you ever seen any of those movies where he shaved his mustache?
Yeah, I don't watch
Or
it.
even better, any of those roles from before he grew the mustache.
Mm.
Like one of my favorite roles ever is him on a really bad episode of The Twilight Zone, where a modern Ray Ryder, modern in the 50s, is stuck for inspiration, and he wishes he had a muse, and he actually conjures up, like through the magic of the Twilight Zone, conjures up William Shakespeare. And
Bill Shakespeare, eh?
Yeah, and Shakespeare tries to write for TV. And he realizes the actors in his day were very different. They were egalitarian and
Laurence Olivier
versus the actors today who were just dicks. And one of my favorites is Burt Reynolds plays like the young buff male lead, who's basically just a meathead who's there because he looks good.
Right.
And he walks up to Shakespeare, and his whole interaction is so what are you supposed to be, some kind of guy?
That's the best descriptor ever. Yeah.
That's great.
So, but he's not in your top. Okay, so this is mine.
How's before the mustache?
It's Selleck, Burt Reynolds, Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers, good one. Oh,
that's a good stash. Right. That's okay. That's I think a top 3. Maybe Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek.
He's not an actor, but like he's on this. He's
also shaved the mustache now. Man.
But I know, but I ain't watching Jeopardy for that. But like, yeah, I think he's up there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, who else?
CGI. Stop it right there. Stop it. Okay. You stuck for a 5th one?
Johnny Depp.
No, I'm just like Wait, you gotta have.
Yeah,
the Pirates of the Caribbean.
But I'm talking about like career-wise. If you're gonna be known for the stash, you gotta have like the stash throughout.
He had like 6 or 7 movies.
What's his name from the Double Deuce? The cowboy from the Dude from Big Lebowski.
Sam Elliott. You're right. Yeah, that's 5. Thank you. That's actually the name. That's the name I was searching for. Yeah, these guys are. If you see them without a mustache, you know something's wrong.
I gotta say,
you have cancer. I'm just saying, like, if you don't have a mustache, like.
Well, because he played that. He played in Thank You for Smoking, where he played that cancer patient, and he did it damn well.
And he did actually. He was in the movie The Contender, and he didn't have a mustache. He was a politician in that, and it was like
wrong.
It was awful. Yeah.
Wait, did he shave the mustache for it?
He did.
When was this?
Yeah, this was like 2003 or something.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while. He's growing it back since.
Who was that actor in Dallas Buyers Club?
That was Matthew McConaughey.
He rocks a good mustache in whatever movies that he has him in.
You can pull him out.
He doesn't usually wear one, though.
But I'm saying, like, Sam Elliott, I mean, that's like 30 years of mustache.
Yeah, that's
like, you know what I mean?
That reminds me of, there was an old episode of Conan when he still did late night. Conan O'Brien. Yeah. When one of the dudes in the band, had LaBamba had this mustache that he hadn't shaved. Like, that was his look. So he hadn't shaved it or trimmed it or anything. Well, he trimmed it, but he hadn't shaved it in, like, 20 years, like 15, 20 years. Wow. And they bet him on the show that if something happened, he would shave his mustache. And he shaved it on air.
Wow.
And they gave him an electric shaver. And it took like a good 4 minutes of just back and
breaks
forth.
The blade.
It was just that thick. It was grown in like this.
It's like you're trimming Lloyd Christmas's toenails in Dumb and Dumber. And you're like, like getting the jaws of life.
Well, it was one of those that even after he shaved it, it was just a completely different skin color under there. It was that, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost not even flesh at that point. It's something weird.
All right, my 5 is Charlie Chaplin. Tom Selleck has to be there.
Yeah.
Nick Offerman. Okay. I mentioned Gomez Adams, even though you
poo-pooed
that one. Raul Julia. Yep. And Wilford Brimley.
Ooh.
Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Solid push broom.
Diabetes.
This big walrus-looking thing.
By the way, because you mentioned Wilford Brimley, did you remember when the movie Hard Target with Van Damme, and he plays his grandfather or his uncle something, and he shoots a guy with a bow and arrow?
Yeah, he was badass.
Like Wilford Brimley with a Cajun accent shoots a guy with a bow and arrow. No, like legit bow and arrow. I'm like,
okay, it's been a while.
How weird of a point in like movie history is that?
It's a Cajun movie. It's a movie with Wilford Brimley.
What chance I still have your shotgun? He comes out with his shotgun, and then Van Damme goes on this.
Yeah, he's wielding a shotgun, riding a horse through the bayou. Okay, there are very few things in life are more badass than that.
Wilford Brimley shooting a guy with a Cajun accent and with a bow and arrow. Yeah, that's just, I don't know. That's John Woo at his most. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, seriously, man.
Casting was like, what the hell are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
So, Life with Kevin.
I gave Life with Kevin a thumbs up ages ago. Yeah, that review is over. Life with Kevin was really good. I highly recommend it. It's out now from Archie Comics. You can buy it in individual issues, or Volume 1 is available as a collected trade. Now I'm going to kick it over to my man, Just Johnny.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's right. Because you okay?
I thought we were bound.
I know.
Okay.
I said the wrong name. I was trying to backpedal gracefully, and you cut me off. Thank you for that. No, it's okay. Black Adam Willis.
Yeah.
You got to check out Netflix's latest